Hey guys, this is your girl Chefladyt in the kitchen today. I am cooking Haitian food. I was asked to make a video to cook Haitian food, so I'm making this video how to cook a Haitian food. So these are the items that you will need for this process. You will need rice, beans, and vegetables for to make a complete meal of Haitian food, which called légumes de riz sauce pois. So in this video, I will show you how I did the process of cooking the food. Each step by step, you will see how I did the cooking. And we all know Haitian food does take long to cook. As you can see, the food looks so beautiful and it tastes so good. So guys, sit back, relax, and I will show you, talk to you how I did this. So here is the beans. I use this white beans to make the sauce pois. So you will see the process of me making the sauce pois. First, I took my pot and I poured some water in and poured some beans in there. I did not cook the whole bag of beans. I just cooked some of it and I wash it. Please make sure you rinse it well because the water, as you can see, the water is kind of dirty. So I wash it 3 times. I rinse it out 3 times. The third water I leave it in because it was nice and clean, so I left it in and I used that. So now I have some garlic. I will peel off my garlic and I will add some garlic to my beans, to the water, and some green onions, and also I add some cooking vegetable oil to my beans. And now I'm done all of this, and you will see the beans is cooking right now. So I left it to cook maybe an hour and a half. And after it was done, I squeezed one of the beans to see if it were done. So I took my blender and my strainer to take some beans out of the pot to put in my blender. And please make sure leave some beans in the pot. If you love the beans, leave some beans in the pot. I don't like too much beans, so I just leave a little bit of beans in the pot. So now I'm using my blender. So my beans is in the blender. I add some cold water, and now I'm blending the beans together with the water. And I also blend it on smooth because I didn't want anything to left in the beans. So I blend it in smooth so everything is nice and smooth. Some people prefer using a masher to mash their beans and add water to do the all extra, but this is the easy way for me to do it, and I have been doing a little while. So now my beans is ready. I already blended. As you can see, it's nice and creamy in there. I blended, so now I'm pouring it back on my pot. And I also add some water off camera. I put some water, some warm water in there to rinse it and put it back inside the pot. So now here's the excess water I use and put it back in there. The process of cooking Haitian food is very long, so there's a lot of process that not show on camera. So now I add some thyme. You can add thyme, parsley, or whatever you want to add in your own, but me, that's what I did. I add some thyme. Then I add some salt. We do not measure anything. So now I'm using some purpose flour, Robin Hood flour. I love Robin Hood flour. I don't like no other flour but Robin Hood flour. So I'm gonna be using 2 cups of the flour because I wasn't making plenty dough, so I used 2 cups. So for the Haitian that listening, this the process of making boy. I add a little bit of sugar because the flour is kind of bitter. The boy was not sweet. The dough was not sweet, but it was just like give it a nice texture because I didn't like the bitter dough. So now I have a cup of water and I'm adding some salt to the water. I stirred them together and make sure the salt was enough to my taste. Then I pour it on my flour to make my dough. I use a spoon at first. Then you will see where I use my hands. My hands is already washed, it's clean. My hands already clean. Like I said before, So I'm taking my hands and I'm kneading the dough. Make sure you get everything in there. Now nothing left, so now the dough is done. So I'm taking the dough and I'm forming it to the boy. It's not perfect, but if you like it other way, you can do it other way, because some people do it round, but I prefer to do it long. And now I'm adding it to my sauce pois. As you can see, the sauce pois is cooking. Look the look of it. Look at the difference. Look at it. Looks so beautiful. And please make sure your sauce pois is not too thick or not too thin. It's in between, thick and thin between, but not too thick and not too thin, because when you pour it over your rice, you want to see that drip, dripping off that spoon when you put it in your mouth. So make sure your sauce pois is not too thick. I see some people love thick sauce pois, but I do not like thick sauce pois because that don't go right with the rice. But this is the way I like it. I did add some cloves to my sauce pois out of camera. I add but 2 or 3 pieces of cloves. I just let it cook for like a couple of minutes after I took it out, because my kids don't like cloves. So now my sauce pois is done. And as you can see in the spoon, it's not too thick, it's not too thin. So it's done. So now it's the process of my meat. I have beef, I have ribs. I have 3 different kind of meats. I can't remember which one is it. And I also got some crabs. So now here's the process of cleaning the meat. And that's one of the reasons how Haitian food does take a little while before it cooks, because we do take time to clean the meat. So I'm taking off the excess fat of the meat. And my Bahamian dialect, we will say we're taking off the grease of the meat. So in the Haitian way, na retire vlen yo, graisse yo nan viande nan. So this is what I'm doing right now, removing all the excess fat of the meat. And I have to remove every little piece of fat, because my husband do not like to see the fat in the meat. So I have to remove every little pieces of fat in that meat. And as you can see, I will be slicing the meat as I go along, because I just want the season to catch inside of the meat. You have to have patience to cook Haitian food, because it does take time to cook, especially when you're making legume, dairy, and sauce pois. It does take a while to cook. And even when we're cooking like beans and rice or peas and rice, it does take time too, because the meat is our main focus right there. Because we know the sauce pois and the rice will be all right, but the main focus right now is the meat for the legume, because that have to be off the chain, that have to taste good. So here's my snow crab. Someone asked me why did I use snow crab. I'm in Canada, Vancouver. I don't find any other crab but this snow crab. Maybe there's other places that sell other crabs, but I don't know about. But the store that I go to only sells snow crab, and I bought the snow crab to use it in there, and I love it. My daughter and I, we love the snow crab. The guys them do not eat crabs. So I had some shrimp. Now I'm cutting some lime. You must have lime, please. Must have lime. And you must have vinegar. If you want to use lemon juice, you can also use lemon juice, because I did use lemon juice. Because I love to wash my meat, it have to be nice and clean. No smell, no nothing, because we know beef. So I'm using some lemon juice, pour it over it. I also add some salt, not too much. And now I'm squeezing my lime. And I will also take the lime skin to rub on the meat. I take each pieces of meat and I rub the lime, because I don't like to smell. And we know the meat smell fresh, so gotta make sure you clean it nice. Then I add some warm water. I turn my water on and I add it, put it to hot. But you know, it's not that hot, but I rinse it off the first time and I give it a second rinse, then a third rinse. The third rinse is with the hot boiling water. And now I took my boiling hot water and poured over it again. And this is the third rinse. As means chaude ou chaude viande nan. We should call it, yeah, which is chaude de viande. Chaude viande nan. Bien chaude. So now here's my pot that I cook my legume in. I add some cooking oil, vegetable oil. And this is some green onions that I mashed down in my pilon. Some Creole seasoning. I didn't have any of my Asian season. And I didn't have any time to make it. Some black pepper. I didn't have any time to make it. So some complete seasoning. So I just use the season that I have in my cupboard. There's some garlic seasoning I bought from Costco. It's really good. It tastes really good. There's some Tex-Mex season. I think it's onion, green pepper, and parsley or something like that. There's some garlic. This garlic don't have any salt. It's just organic garlic. It don't have no salt. And I also add some lemon juice again. So, you know, you gotta have some citron in that legume, in that viande. And I also squeeze some lime in my meat, but it was off camera. And I have some minced garlic that I bought, organic minced garlic I bought from Costco, and it's really good, guys. If you have a Costco nearby, stop by and get one. It's really good. And I also use the minced garlic at work as well. So it's really, really good. So I stirred everything together. Now I'm adding my meat. I used my hands to add the meat because there was some excess water left in the bowl. And I didn't want to pour it in there, so I just used my hands to put the meat in the pot. So now I put all the meat. Now I take a spoon and stir it very well. Make sure all the seasoning get in the meat. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, this tastes so good and smells so good while cooking. Oh my God, the legume was good. And now I'm adding the shrimp. And also I'll be adding the crab. Then I will take them out later. You will see where I'll take them out later, because I did not cook the seafood in there. I cooked the seafood after the meat was properly done. Actually, well done. Just season the seafood along with the crab in there. Then I will be taking them out because I did not, like I said before, I did not cook them in there. Because seafood is only take about 2 to 5 minutes to cook. You don't need to cook your seafood in the meat. So now I have some vegetables here. I have celery, red pepper, green pepper, orange pepper, onions. I like vegetables in my food because my children do not eat vegetables. So I prefer to cook it in the food, even though you don't see it, but at least the nutrition is still in the food. So I cook everything together. Some people will add this later after their meat is done, but me, I cook everything one time. And you will see. Now I'm adding some tomato paste. I saw some people that cook their meat regular, then after that when the meat is done they add tomato paste and add water to give it color. But me, I love my meat with everything cooked in there together, then the color came out perfectly. So here's my crab and the shrimp. I take out and put it in a bowl for later, but you must rest it in the fridge until your meat is done. Then you can add your seafood back in your pot. Adding some dry thymes, fresh thymes. Also some parsley, couple pieces of cloves. I did not add all, and my kids' family hate it. And I also add some water off camera because I add some water to boil the meat off camera. So please make sure you add a cup of water or 2 cups of water. It depends how many meat you're cooking. But I did add a cup of water or 2, I think, because the meat still gonna give you water while it's cooking. So yeah, I did add 2 cups of water, and you will see when the water dries out, then you will see. So here's the vegetables that I use in this video. And I'm peeling out the coyote. I'm peeling it out. But after you peel it, please make sure you cut it in half so you can take the hard middle piece out. Do not cook it whole. Make sure you cut it in half. And you will see how I take it out. The middle piece, the hard piece. This is where you cut it. And finish peel it out, take the green. Now you take out the same white middle piece. Please take it out, do not cook it in there. Here's my eggplant. Those eggplants were so beautiful. And it's so easy to peel. I really love to peel eggplants. They're really easy to peel. At least my knife is not that dull anymore. I had to sharpen the knives. I need some new knives. Now here's the vegetables. This is the coyote and the eggplants together because the pot was too small. You can cook everything together, but my pot was small, so I had to cook them in 2 separate pots. So it has my cabbage, and this is my papaya. I peeled off the papaya off camera because I really love papaya in my legumes. So there's the papaya here. And now we can see my vegetables is boiling. This is the coyote and the eggplant together in that pot. And this is the cabbage and the papaya in this other pot. But you can cook all of them together if you have a bigger pot. Do not cook them if you don't want. If you want to, you can cook them separately. But because for me it was too small, so I cooked them separately. Now my vegetables is done, and my cabbage and papaya is still cooking, but those 2 vegetables were done. So I'm taking a masher, mush pilon to peel on. Now I add the papaya in there off camera because you can see the yellowish is the papaya in there. I add it off camera, and I'm not peeling everything down together. And I also drain out some of the water because the coyote, the meliton, it contains a lot of water. So I took a big spoon and I just do it from the side to side and take off some of the water out because I don't like runny legume. I like my legume to be nice and nice texture, but not too runny, not too thick, not just nice. So as you can see here, the meat, as you can see, this is how the meat will look after the water is done, and you will see I did not add oil to this meat because the meat contains a lot of oil, natural oil from the meat. So now I'm adding some carrot. I did not add any oil because it was enough in there. Now I'm adding my carrot. I'm stirring it together. And this is my collard green and some spinach that I add to the legume as well. And I make sure I wash it 3 times, because there is sometimes you might don't see things in the leaf and there's stuff in there. So after I done wash it, now I'm adding it to my pot. And this is color greens. You can add color greens. I use color greens because I needed some blood, so they said it's really good, so I put it in there. And also some spinach. And you cover it back, let it steam down. See, it's nice and steamed down. Everything is flat down. And you take a spoon and then start stirring it in together. Make sure it's all in together. As you can see, the meat is well done. Some of it already broke down and stuff, but it's all good. That's why they call it legume for a reason. I was looking for my bigger wooden spoon, couldn't find it. So here's my cabbage. I saw some people actually, they mash the cabbage with the rest of the vegetables. But I wanted the cabbage to stay in the legume, so I did not mash it down with the vegetable. Everything is cooked down. Just give it a nice little stir. After I add those vegetables, I kind of found it dry, so I add some cooking oil off camera. And as you can see on the side, you will see the cooking oil there. But it's all good. It's all good. It wasn't too oily. It was nice and perfect for our family. Maybe you like more oil, but this one was good for us. So now here's my mixture of the vegetable. I will be adding it in. So as you can see, there's not too much water in there because I had to drain out some water, excess water from the vegetable, because the chefladyt contains a lot of water in the cabbage also. So now I'm mixing it together. Please mix it very well. Make sure everything you guys love my voice and maybe my little accent there. Haitian, Bahamian accent is in the video, guys. As you can see there, I took off the crab because I wanted to make sure I mix the legume very well. So I took the crab off, but I will be adding the crab later. Jumbo shrimp, but you know, once you put the shrimp in the heat, it will shrink. And here's the look of the legume. It's almost done. It's almost done. As you can see, I did not add any more tomato paste. The exact tomato paste that I add, that's the one that gave it this color. I add about 2 to 3 spoons of tomato paste in there. But if you want to add more to get more color, but this is the color I like the legume. And here's my crab is in there. I add the crab off camera. I had this video from last month. Actually, this is 2nd day of April, and I'm just doing the talk over because I forgot all about the video, and a friend requested me to share the video with her. So I said, okay, since I'm free today, I'm gonna do the talk over this video so I can post it. And as you can see, the legume is like, look at the legume in the spoon. You can see the legume is done. So I put it aside. So now here is my process of cooking my rice. I cook my rice just like my grandmother. When she used to sing perfectly, that's how she used to cook her rice. So I made sure to cook the rice. I learned from her to cook that rice like that. So my oil is in the pot. It's nice and hot, not too hot, because you don't want it to get a burn. So now I added some green onions in there, and I let the green onions fry, but do not let it burn because you're cooking white rice. If it's burnt, the water will be brown, and your rice will turn out brown. So now I'm adding my water. Please do not judge me. I do not measure food. Only if I'm using a recipe book. So this is right here Haitian food. We do not measure. If anybody tell you that we measure, that's a lie. We don't measure anything. We just pour in until it says stop. When our mind says stop, then we stop. So I add about 3 cups of water in there, and I also cook jasmine rice. Now my water was enough, so I add some salt with my hands, no measurement, some diesel. And now I'm washing off my rice. I give my rice 3 rinse. But one thing I found with jasmine rice, if you wash your jasmine rice, put less water. Do not use a lot of water to cook it, because at the end it will come out soggy. But if you use less water, it will be okay. I don't know how many cups. I have a bowl on my rice, in my bag rice, or in my container. So I just take the bowl and I use about 3 small bowls of rice. Because it's only 5 of us, actually. But yes, I use 4 cups, 3 to 4 cups of rice. But I don't measure no rice. I just put it in and rinse it well. Then let your water boil. Make sure your water is boiling, please. Do not put it in there. Now my water started to boil, and I will be adding my rice in. My grandma used to take the spoon. She rests it in the middle of the rice while it's in the pot. And if the spoon stands up, that means the water is enough for the rice. If the spoon fell off to the side, it means the water is too much in the rice. And I always do that, but I did it on this here off camera. I forgot to do it on the camera. But the olden days. So now I'm adding some more salt, because when I taste the water, there was not salt in there. And just put a little bit more salt just to your taste. Not too salty, please. Not salty. Just exactly to your taste. So now the water is almost done. Off camera, guys. Off camera. So it's ready. Start cooking. Now the water is almost finished in the rice. And give it a nice stir. Now the water is dry. Off camera again. The water dries out now. So I'm forming the rice. I don't know, for some reason I just like to form the rice because I used to see grandma do it. So I just love to form the rice. I form it. Then I put it, I cover it back. And check back again later. And now the rice is done. The legume is done. And here's the plate, guys. This is so beautiful. It tastes so good, guys. If you ever taste my food before, you know this tastes good. So thank you guys for watching. May God richly bless each and every one of you. And please leave us a comment below. And do not forget to subscribe. Share the video with your family and friends. It's your girl, Lady T, Chef Lady T. Today is not about decor. Today is about cooking. May God richly bless you. Have a blessed week and a blessed year. Thank you very much.